Good evening. This is QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Ashma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. Today, Monday, 8th of July, the majority of the National Assembly voted in favor of the recommendations of the report on the Women's Amendment Bill 2024, which recommends retention of the law banning FGM. A crowd of mainly young people braved through the rain to march from Bond Road Junction to the National Assembly, protesting the Judicial Officers Remuneration and Entitlements Bill 2024 and the National Assembly Salaries and Pensions Bill 2024. The National Assembly Select Committee on Education, Training and ICT recommended stakeholders to collaborate to ensure additional submarine cables are installed to improve the country's internet connectivity to the outside world. To address the issue of plastic waste in the Gambia, the Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources says he would be submitting to Cabinet a national action plan on plastic waste management. Now, those and other stories coming up. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Today, Monday, the 8th of July, the majority of the National Assembly voted in favor of the recommendations of the report on the Women's Amendment Bill 2024 by the Joint Committee on Health and Gender. Among other things, the report states that FGM is against Islam and recommends retention of the law banning the practice due to its negative consequences. Alusise followed the deliberations, and this is his report.
The Women Amendment Bill 2024, which was introduced on 4th of March of this year by Almame Jiba, the National Assembly member for Fanyi Councillor, seeks to reinstate the practice, citing cultural and religious reasons, and proposes the repeal of the 2015 ban on FGM. However, this move has been met with strong opposition from activists and human rights organizations who argue that the practice is un-Islamic and that reversing the ban would be a major setback for women's rights and undermine years of progress. During its second reading on 18th March, lawmakers voted 42-4 to move the bill to a committee stage of the Joint Committee on Health and Gender, where it underwent further scrutiny. Amadou Kamara, the member for Nyanija constituency and co-chair of the Joint Committee, explained that the committee relied on the testimonies of witnesses from both sides of the debate to reach its conclusion, and the position papers presented to it to review the proposed amendment bill. Honorable Kamara shared the lessons learned from scrutiny and study tour in Egypt.
In some circumstances, FGMC has even led to death, thereby violating the right to life as provided for under Section 18 of the Constitution. FGMC survivors in the Gambia and different parts of the world have given account of psychological effects of the practice on them.
Moving forward, among other things, the Joint Committee recommended maintaining the law prohibiting female circumcision and all forms of whether genital mutilation or cutting in the Gambia to empower and protect women and girls. Reacting to the report, a disappointed Almame Jiba, mover of the bill, said he observed biases in the report, which he said is anchored on Western donors.
I believe that this report is not fit for purpose. This report is borrowed. This report is anchored on Western donors.
The report attracted divergent views from MPs. While Jibimbalo, the member for Lower Fuladu West, expressed support for the report, Honorable Lamin Sise of Kian West remained firm in his stance against the ban and the report. Amically, a member for Fanyi Brefet and a member of the Joint Committee took issue with our own committee's report.
This report is informed by scientific, expert opinion, and beyond the boundary research.
What scientific evidence are you talking about? We are talking about data that can be proven and tested in the world. You cannot fool anybody. Tell us the data. If the Supreme Islamic Council cannot give you their position paper still, all the medical experts you call cannot give you a single dead case of female circumcision. What are you telling me? You think you can fool me?
I know that 95% of Gambian people are circumcised and they have a lot of children. They produce children in this country. If they don't enjoy sex, how comes they have children in this country?
Responding to questions, observations, and concerns raised, Honorable Amadou Kamara denied the allegation of bias in the report or that it lacks factual evidence. He will not say exactly who funded the Egypt study trip on which more than 20 NAMs went, while expressing disappointment with Amicoli for rejecting a report she participated in developing. After the debate, the report was put to the vote for adoption, in which 35 voted in favor, 17 against, and 2 abstained. The current law, enacted in 2015, imposes fines and jail sentences for those performing FGM. The bill is now scheduled for consideration on the 16th of July, when members will vote on the bill to be guided by this adopted report. And with this overwhelming support for the report, it is highly likely the bill will not be passed. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Sise.
A crowd of mainly young people braved the rain to march from Bond Road Junction to the National Assembly, protesting the Judicial Officer's Remuneration and Entitlements Bill 2024 and the National Assembly Salary and Pension Bill 2024. They demanded the bills be dropped and for there be salary increases for all civil servants. Our reporter Lena Iyigwenyiba was on the ground and she filed this report.
We the Gambians, we are hungry, we are suffering. Cash power is expensive. So if they pass these bills, it's for themselves, not the Gambians, because they are there for themselves. So let them all come together and show sympathy, the love they have for this country, not to pass this bill. Enough is enough. We say no to the bill. No.
The streets echoed to the chants of protesters like Bintu Seka, reflecting the sentiment of many young Gambians. The Concerned Citizens of the Gambia, a civil society organization dedicated to combating negative foreign influence and promoting patriotism, led the protests. The youth were clear, drop the bill, and civil servants are hungry, they chanted. Lamin Mane, an executive member of Concerned Citizens, presented their demands.
Withdraw the National Assembly members' salaries and pensions bill. We unequivocally demand that this bill be withdrawn from the Assembly, since it is aimed at serving the interests and enriching the members of Parliament over the other civil servants and the general public as a whole. We demand that the National Assembly withdraw the Judicial Officers Bill 2024, which disproportionately allocates national resources to a selected group while neglecting the needs of the broader population. Government to introduce a new pay scale. The government to prioritize the well-being of all civil servants, to introduce salaries and a pension that will ensure teachers, nurses, security personnel, and other key workers receive better salaries. And this also involves the private sector employees, ensuring that salaries and benefits are aligned with the country's economic realities and do not create significant disparities. We believe that the members of parliament are servants. You will critically look into these demands and respect the voice and concerns of the electorate by addressing these demands.
MC Cham Jr., a KMC councillor, stressed his support for salary increments for all low-income earners.
I am supporting for the cross-board increasement of everybody should be increase their salaries and their benefits. We have been seeing the economic hardship of this country, and I think National Assembly should focus more about how to help the people, because they are here to represent the people at their own level.
Ismaila Fadera, president of the UDP Students' Wing, addressed the Gambia Bar Association's clarification that the bill does not propose salary increases for judicial officers and that any future salary adjustments will consider the government's financial situation. He suggests that these comments favor the judiciary, given that members of the GBA are lawyers.
I must say I have read the bill, and I must say I have read the Gambia Bar Association statement. And then we all know the Bar Association are lawyers. Lawyers in the sense that the bill is specifically representing them. So they are not going to come out with any statement that would justify or that would speak against the bill. So we are saying, bring a bill that is going to represent everybody, not the judiciary only.
Protesters also demanded better resource allocation to sectors like education, healthcare, and agriculture to improve living standards. They warned that if their demands are not met, they would organize nationwide protests against the bills until their voices are heard and respected. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Iyigwenyiba.
The National Assembly Select Committee on Education, Training and ICT recommended the Ministry of Digital Economy and Finance and Gambia Submarine Cable Limited to collaborate to ensure additional submarine cables are installed to provide resilience to the country's connectivity to the outside world. This was contained in its report to the Parliament on Monday. Aliou Sise again.
The Select Committee on Education, Training and ICT is mandated to conduct oversight on educational institutions, ministries, departments and agencies that deal with education, training and ICT. This ensures that the institutions are properly delivering on their mandate, which is to enhance efficiency and transparency in their service delivery. Such oversight gives parliamentarians an in-depth understanding and serves as a guide for creating new laws, amending existing ones, or recommending policy changes. In response to the dynamic landscape of education, training and the ICT sectors, the National Assembly undertook a comprehensive initiative through this Select Committee to visit various institutions, both public and private. This involved visits to private schools, madrasas, GSM operators and internet service providers, among others in the Greater Banjul area and West Coast region. These visits allowed them to conduct thorough assessment of the current state of these critical sectors, their achievements, challenges and opportunities, to make informed recommendations for legislative and policy enhancement. Honorable Alaji Mbow of Upper Salem and chairperson of the 12-member committee shared the committee's recommendations to addressing the challenges facing the sectors.
The Ministry of Digital Economy and the Finance and Digital Economy and Ministry of Finance and Gambia Submarine Cable Limited must work together to ensure additional submarine cables are installed to provide resilience to the country's connectivity to the outside world. There should be a strong policy in place to guide the operations of GSM companies in terms of their operations across the country and the infrastructure they provide. MOPSI should do a policy review to ensure madrasas are supported in terms of classroom constructions, supporting the payment of qualified teachers.
Fatmata Njai, member for Banjul South, Musa Cham, member for Serekunda, and Fali M. Kora of Tumana respectively, uploaded the Select Committee for a detailed and well-presented report. They have the suggestions to make.
I think the committee should have also looked into the rules and the guidelines that govern these private schools, and also not only just look at private schools, but also to look more into the public schools, because I think the public schools need this thing more so that they can improve them. Because
it is very important to teach our students our history. For example, the road to self-independence, to the road to self-determination and independence, and our contribution as a country to the Second World War.
Because if you go through the recommendations, particularly the general recommendation, if they are implemented, you will see that most of the issues, most of the problems that we are encountering as far as our education sector is concerned will be addressed.
Similarly, the Parliament also considered and adopted the report of the Select Committee on Environmental Oversight visits to forest parks and borehole projects across the country. Both reports were considered and adopted. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
That story by Aliou Cisse will take us to a commercial break, but when we return, we have more stories for you. Don't go away.
With QCell's 5G network, experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future, tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, boss. Operation launched. Go on, Bomber, go on. I don't understand. I don't understand. What is it, Bomber? Hello, boss. I don't understand. Amazing discounts on all the best products.
But it's really easy to understand. During Butty Days, take advantage of exceptional discounts up to 50% on tile, sanitary, and light. From June 29th to July 13th, you will be splurging. Butty Mat, welcome home.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I'm Ashmauba. Now, to address the issue of plastic waste in the Gambia, the Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources says he will be submitting to the Cabinet a National Action Plan on Plastic Waste Management. Rohijon Manjang was speaking to QTV's Julden Jai.
Globally, over 300 million tons of plastic are produced every year for use in a wide variety of applications. At least 14 million tons of plastic end up in the ocean every year, and plastic makes up 80% of all marine debris found from surface waters to deep sea sediments. The 10-year National Action Plan aims to reduce plastic waste in the Gambia by 86% by 2033 through a combination of 5 strategies ranging from bans and taxes on specific items to general improvements in waste management. Here is Rohijon Manjang, Gambia's Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources.
Few weeks to come, I will submit to Cabinet the National Action Plan on reducing plastic waste for the first time in the history of the Gambia. During the report, we informed that 2021 alone, the Gambia wasted about 22,000 tons of plastic. That is what we have in our environment. This includes both single-use and multiple-use plastics. So the plastic ban that was in 2015 needs to be reinforced, but not only to reinforce, to have also policy guidelines that will also support in recycling, managing them, and making sure that the use channel is being also electronized to make sure that they are adaptive to the environment.
Minister Manjang highlight what the ministry is doing to tackle these menace.
In as much as we want to collect the waste, we need to also think of where are we going to dispose them. So this needs to be, we need to make sure that we have sanitary landfill. The population is growing, and as population grows, we also have landfills. But last not the least, which is the most important and the highest potential to help support the Gambia's attaining its net zero, is in the use of land use and other means of forestation. So, well, one would say there are challenges in attaining this. But I will tell you, under the Department of Parks and Wildlife, the target was to have 10% of our land under protected areas. But before 2022, we had already 8.06%.
Although contribution to the Gambia to global marine plastic litter is small, the impact on the ozone economy of the Gambia is significant, according to the United Nations Environment Programme. The government has taken bold initiatives to address the waste and pollution in general and the plastic menace through enactment of various legislation, including the Waste Management Bill 2007, the Anti-Littering Regulation 2008, but the problem still persists. On the issue of deforestation, Minister Manjang said, despite enforcing the ban on re-export and export on timber, there are still many challenges.
But now with the ban, you can see that people are now gone back to our own lands, and which is almost empty. So it's as if these days, I do say, it's as if people are on the strike to say, Operation Clear Our Forests. Everybody, on a daily basis, I receive information that the forest is being affected. People are felling down trees illegally. But we are putting in measures to also address that as quickly as possible, both administratively, technically, and policy-wise, and even on the legislations.
While commending some of the forest officers for the tremendous work, Minister Manjang calls on all to join her in managing our forests and the environment. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
The National Assembly for Banjul North partnered with Innovax Global Health to provide free preventive health screening to hundreds of residents in his constituency over the weekend. And Sumana Sunyasi tells us more.
Access to preventive healthcare services such as screening for hypertension and diabetes remains a challenge for a large section of society due to the high cost and lack of testing materials. However, in fulfillment of a major campaign promise, the representative for Banjul North constituency, Honorable Mudlamin Biba, who is also the deputy chair of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, took his advocacy a little further, collaborating with InnovaX Global Health to provide free screening services for his constituents, particularly the elderly. Speaking to journalists, the Banjul North parliamentarian expressed delight at bringing such important healthcare service to his people at no cost. He thanked InnovaX Global Health and the Turkish ambassador for their support and partnership.
So I deem it necessary as a representative to try by all means to bring healthcare services to the doorstep of my people, and starting by my own constituency, that is the people of Banjul North. So today, we are gathered here today to witness another milestone achievement in terms of making sure that proper healthcare services are provided to our people.
Speaking earlier, the Turkish ambassador to the Gambia, His Excellency Fahri Toka Oba, commended the Banjul North representative for his foresight and commitment to promoting health in the Gambia, particularly in his constituency, and assured of the Turkish mission's support to such endeavors whenever the need arises.
I would like to thank, of course, Honorable MP Ba and also Innovarex and the BCC for this kind invitation. You know, health is our most important capital, and everybody has a problem either of high tension or diabetes. We have to check. So I think this screening is crucial. So a healthy community is a healthy country.
Abdullah Krubali, a youth councillor at the Banjul City Council, and Betty Gomez of InnovaX Global Health stressed the need for regular screening. They also commended the Member of Parliament for the initiative and encouraged the public to regularly visit health facilities for screening.
So having this initiative coming to Banjul North is really a welcoming initiative, and we are urging every Banjulian or anybody from Banjul North to really take this initiative seriously and also come and know your health status, because it is very important. Having this thing for free, I think is a welcoming initiative.
Well, we are really happy to partner with Banjul North MP to come and screen the people of Banjul North for diabetes, hypertension, and also check their BMI. Because InnovaRx we're really big on making sure that people know their health status.
Regular screening for life-threatening conditions such as diabetes and hypertension is important, as knowing one's risk status and taking early preventive action can have numerous benefits and can help save lives. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
That story by Answane Sonyasi will now take us to sports news in a moment. Now, Real de Banjul are champions for a second successive season, having already established an unassailable lead. They celebrate in fitting fashion, winning 2-1 against runners-up Falcons on Saturday, marking the end of the 2023-2024 season. Mumudu Gajaga reports.
One of the Gambia's most successful football clubs, Real de Banjul, are champions on the final day of the season, although their league title was assured weeks ago, such as the gap they had established between them and second-place Falcons. It was somehow fitting that the top two clashed in the final match of the season. Despite having already clinched the title, Real were not in the mood to drop the standards that they had set during the season. However, Falcons threatened to spoil the party when Falcons' Bakary Toure levelled the scores after Modulamin Jobate's 58-minute opener. However, Real fans were back in celebration mode when Modu Mane scored his first goal of the season in the 72nd minute to restore the champions' lead. Real de Banjul won the league with 68 points from 30 games. They won 20 games, lost just 4 times, drew 5, scored 55 goals and conceded 20, and had a goal difference of 35. Falcons fell short for the second time in a row. They surrendered the league to Real de Banjul last season, when they were on top of the table until the last day of the season. This season, Real de Banjul had a 16-point gap. William Abraham, president of Real de Banjul, says his team had put in so much effort after losing 6 key players.
We lost about 6 players, and still we won the league with how many points from the second position. So this year we were ready because we knew that all the teams were ready for us. So we had a good backup in the first team. We brought in some very energetic players, very young, that were ready to fight and make sure we win the league. And that's why we won it.
Samba Jallo, a player for Real de Banjul, shared his joy at being part of a team that has won the league twice in a row.
This is a joyous moment anyway. Yeah, winning the Gambian League for a second consecutive time, it's not easy. Definitely we've put up a lot of work and we fight very hard also to see to it that we achieve our dreams. Like you said, I struggle with some injuries, but that is part of football. Just I have faith and I try to work hard to get back to my feet, and here I am today. I'm a champion.
This title win takes Real de Banjul to 14 league titles, with only Walidan, who faced a relegation playoff this season, having a better record with 16 league titles. For now, though, Real de Banjul are riding high. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
Congratulations to Real de Banjul. I'm afraid that's all we have for you in this news bulletin. But before we go, a recap of news headlines. Today, Monday, 8th of July, the majority of the National Assembly voted in favor of the recommendations of the report on the Women's Amendment Bill 2024, which recommends retention of the law-banning FGM. A crowd of mainly young people braved the rain to march from Bone Road Junction to the National Assembly, protesting the Judicial Officer's Remuneration and Entitlements Bill 2024 and the National Assembly Salaries and Pension Bill 2024. The National Assembly Select Committee on Education, Training and ICT recommended stakeholders to collaborate to ensure additional submarine cables to improve the country's internet connectivity to the outside world. To address the issue of plastic waste in the Gambia, the Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources says he will be submitting to Cabinet a national action plan on plastic waste management. And in sports news, Real de Banjul are champions for a second successive season, which they emphasized by winning 2-1 against runners-up Falcons on Saturday, marking the end of 2023-2024 season. Well, that's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Join us again at 10 p.m. for more news. Thanks for watching.